Hello everyone, Ruby Ravel, everybody's favorite estrogen guzzling astrologer here. And today I am going to talk about the transit of Mercury in Aquarius. So Mercury is the planet that governs the mind, how we process and perceive the world, how we digest things mentally and intellectually, and then attempt to verbalize them and communicate them back to the world. And the sign for which Mercury is transiting can give us an idea of the main things that our mind is focusing on and how it approaches the problem of problem solving, of making decisions, and how it analyzes and assesses the world. Because our mind is always local, our mind is always centered in our environment and where we are right now. And you can have two people in the same environment, but the way they are processing it and experiencing it can be radically different. We're always coming from different mysterious centers. And while someone can look at one scene and pick up all kinds of data that they are assessing and assimilating in one particular way, someone else could have completely missed those things and picked up something else. So Mercury can tell us what our mental biases are inclined to be. And as you know, I enjoy looking at the ingress of planets into new signs by comparing them to the one they've just been through. So, for instance, when Mercury is in Capricorn, our minds become very goal oriented. Capricorn is all about having long term goals and objectives and making sure that all the decisions and all the things that we are focused on are practically oriented towards reaching that long term goal. And whilst that can be very good in terms of just wanting to be that charioteer riding towards some kind of victory, or accomplishment that we've set ourselves, Mercury in Capricorn can also have a tunnel vision. It's so focused on what it wants to get and what it's working towards that it can forget to look at everything else. It can say that everything else is superfluous because that's not what I'm focused on right now. So by the time we get to Aquarius, our mind is ready to branch out a bit more. It's ready to have some more breathing room, to move beyond objective, goal-oriented thinking and to start looking towards the stars. Mercury in Aquarius can be a bit overwhelmed because it is the placement of the universal mind. Whereas I said Mercury tends to be locally oriented, Mercury in Aquarius wants to pull back and try and assess and analyze the bigger picture of the cosmos and the universe as a whole. Rather than just being focused on the immediate and the practical, it's more concerned with looking at the bigger picture of the human race as an experiential totality. So as a consequence, Mercury in Aquarius usually has an allergy to small talk. In fact, it has an antagonistic response to small-minded thinking in general. It's always oriented towards asking the bigger questions. It has this omnivorous imagination and curiosity that is always steered towards asking questions no one has ever asked before, so that its mind can branch out and discover new frontiers. So rather than having small talk conversations that revolve around, hey, how are you? How's the weather? How's your day going? Mercury in Aquarius is more likely to want to talk about astronomy, astrology, quantum physics, politics, about the future of the human race, about the potential of life on other planets. It is not interested in remaining rooted and grounded, but in conceptually exploring all the different ways in which the human race can manifest itself. And as a response to this, Mercury in Aquarius tends to be very curious about people. It's always interested in discovering the different ways that human beings can manifest themselves. So I always think of Mercury in Aquarius and Aquarian placements in general as a bit like being alien anthropologists from other planets who have been placed on this one to study the human race and to delve into and dive into all our weird habits and customs and to record them in some esoteric log there that will later be studied by other alien scientists who will decide whether to allow our planet to carry on existing as it currently is. So the ingress of Mercury into Aquarius can offer us a real mental reinvigoration. It's almost like if Mercury in Capricorn has made our minds a bit too parochial, a bit too earthbound in our thinking, then the transit through Aquarius is that lightning bolt that sets our minds on fire, that pulls our brains out of the confines of our skulls and throws them into a different nebula to see what's going on there. You know, all those neurons and neuronal pathways start sparking and firing off in different directions, and we are usually much more socially oriented. We want to go out and meet new people. We want to go out and join groups or different organizations or become politically involved or just in general meet people or have experiences that cause our minds to think things we never want, that we never thought before. We want to have novel and unique and reinvigorating intellectual experiences, to maybe read books or watch documentaries about things we've never thought about before, to associate with people we've never met before who can, you know, challenge the parochial biases of our minds. So it's about using the brain as a vehicle for space exploration, to try and encompass as much of the universe as we can within the finitude of our own skulls. And that's kind of both the blessing and the curse of Mercury in Aquarius, is that it's attempting to be infinite. And indeed, the mind is infinite, whereas the body is defined by, you know, this tantalizingly curvaceous form, in my case. The mind can go anywhere. The mind can travel through the sky, through the entire universe. It exists outside of time. It can transform us from the present moment. It can travel back into the past. It can travel into the potential future. It is this wonderful exploratory tool. Our mind is an alchemical laboratory in which all possible ideas can be experimented and tested with. And during this transit, I think we can really feel that and be excited by it. The problem is that can be so electrically compulsive that we can become almost too excitable. Our nervous systems can be spasming with delight and excitation. We can be so scattered out throughout the cosmos that we're not really very present in the now, because our minds are always scattered about into those furthest reaches of the infinite universe. And this is reinforced by the fact that Mercury will be entering into a trine with Mars and a sextile with Jupiter, both of which make us feel more intellectually and socially driven, where discovering new ideas and meeting new people and getting to prove our intelligence and mercurial wit to other people reinforces our sense of strength and power in the world, where we might want to travel to places we've never been to before and have those almost altered states of consciousness that a totally new way of perceiving is capable of prompting and exciting. Anyway, speaking of exciting, I'm actually feeling quite overexcited myself, because I have found a new place to live that I'm really, really happy for. I've had that wonderful breakthrough. I think my nervous system is also feeling overstimulated today by this transit, so I'm going to leave it there But one thing I will say is that a number of people have reached out to me asking whether I do personal chart readings. Yes, I do. So if you want to get in contact, if you want an astrological reading, a tarot reading, dream analysis, or just spiritual counseling in general, which synthesizes my knowledge of all these different areas, I will be putting contact details um, in the information section of this video. So you will be able to contact me by email or through either of my Instagram accounts, and we can try and arrange something, because even though I have other jobs at the moment, long term, I would like to be doing astrology and music full time. So you can support me in that if you care to ask for my assistance. But also in general, if you have any comments or experiences that you want to share, if you have Mercury in Aquarius yourself and you want to share your own experiences of that placement with me, please do. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always learning from astrology by having people share their experiences with me. So yeah, all my love to you, and I will be making more videos over the next few days.